Topping our newscast here at 5, what could be the most important day in Bakersfield. Congressman Kevin McCarthy's over 2 decades-long political career is now just 1 day away. 17's Maddie Gannon and Alex Fisher are in Washington, D.C. tonight and have been at the Capitol all day long. Maddie, Alex, what has it been like there on the ground today?
Right now, this battle, it's not even necessarily with Democrats, it's with members in his own party.
While these defectors are getting a lot of the attention, a strong majority of the House Republican Conference is standing by McCarthy and saying they will stick with him for as long as it takes.
Be sure to tune in to KGT tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for a special 17 News presentation of Mr. Speaker Kevin McCarthy's path to power.
Tonight in the nation's capital, Kevin McCarthy's fight to become the next Speaker of the House continues.
We've spent weeks looking back on his life and political career, all leading up to this moment. And while today he didn't make the kind of history he hoped to make, he's still the frontrunner to get the speakership.
Here is our report, Mr. Speaker, Kevin McCarthy's path to power.
We're going to see who the real Kevin McCarthy is.
He can reach the peak of his power.
He just cares about accelerating his career. This is somebody who eats, breathes, and sleeps politics.
One of the smartest people that I ever knew.
Well, it's a tough job.
The Speaker of the House is from Bakersfield.
A big focus of both parties is retaining and gaining congressional seats as Republicans try to keep their majority in the House of Representatives with an ousted Kevin McCarthy. Currently, the GOP holds a 9-seat majority, 5 of which are key California districts the party picked up in 2020 and 2022.
Look, I talk to the former president often. I just talked to him last week. I thought it was very unfair. I mean, I called him up and said, I'm sorry, because every time we find something else about the pay to play for Biden, he gets indicted.
We have a big update for you this morning from our annual Unleash Your Love fundraiser for the Bakersfield SPCA. Our goal was to raise $30,000 on Friday to help refurbish the cattery and raised $58,840. An overall beautiful cattery. So thank you to everyone who donated and gave in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
And this week, we're rolling up our sleeves to save lives. Houchin Community Blood Bank is hosting one of its largest mobile blood drives of the year.
Overall, it's been such a successful drive.
It really has. So we are so thankful for all of our donors that came out today.
We teamed up with the Bakersfield Animal Care Center to help find pets new homes.
Yeah, 17's Aaliyah Fitzgerald is in studio this morning with a recap of how many lives were saved in Kern County. Aaliyah?
It's 42 dogs and 6 cats found homes on Saturday, but it doesn't stop there.
The amount of donations we received this year, so incredible that we decided to keep the ball rolling.
Oh my gosh, we've had just overwhelming amount of shoes being donated.
We've been doing this drive for 31 years now, and Guarantee Shoe Center says they've never seen this kind of response, adding the generosity from our community is amazing. We'd like to thank you all once again for giving back in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
Yeah. Friday's Cookies for a Cause fundraiser was a sweet success. At 17's Compassion Corner, you helped raise more than $11,000 for local Girl Scouts.
That number just makes me so happy.
And we just want to send a big thank you to all who turned out in the spirit of the Golden Empire. So great to see.
Our annual barbecue fundraiser taking place at Compassion Corner with a steady stream of cars lined up outside of our studios, and all that money goes back to them. At 17's Compassion Corner, you, our viewers, raised a grand total of $13,000 yesterday for our homeless community. Thank you for giving in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
Well, thanks for being here. Every dollar donated to every purchase today really helps our Pediatric Patient Assistance Fund.
For the past few weeks, we have been working with our partners at the Bakersfield East Rotary Club to collect donations for the children at the Open Door Network. We hosted our annual backpack drive today, and the amazing donations from our community and our employees helped us stuff hundreds of backpacks for the children there. For all those who generously donated, thank you so much for giving in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
You, our viewers, donated a whopping 13,000 pounds of food for our community's most vulnerable residents. To everyone who came out, we want to thank you for giving back in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
Annual Cinnamon Roll Drive in support of the Alzheimer's Disease Association of Kern County was a huge success once again this year. ADAKC reaching its goal of $30,000 today.
Well, hundreds of people turned out yesterday for our annual Hook and Ladder barbecue, and today the numbers are in.
At 17's Compassion Corner, you helped raise more than $42,000 in support of local burn survivors.
That is incredible. And we want to thank everyone who came down and had lunch with us yesterday for giving back in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
TV 17 today hosted a busy and successful event outside our studios at Compassion Corner.
We're going to have plenty of winter clothes to go around for our children and our families. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and so not only are we able to supply survivors with just needed items like hygiene products, but we're creating awareness in the community.
And of course, always thank you to everyone who donated in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
Indeed.
Are you guys ready to see how much we raised? Yes. All right, let's roll that tote board.
Okay. Our fundraising total last year was $102,554. Look at that, Kern County.
Woo! $103,000.
17 News was told that the bus was fueling at the time of the fire. The bus, which cost $1.1 million, was destroyed.
You can watch that special report on our website, kget.com/Tyler's Twins.
And to see the full extended interview with Patricia Alamore's mother, just head to our website, kget.com. There, you'll find resources on how to keep your kids safe online.
We have much more on this story on our website, kget.com. Just scan the QR code you see on your screen here for a full list of stories, including updates on lawsuits filed in connection to this crash, and more on the Highway Patrol's investigation.
17 News took a deep dive into the rise of Kevin McCarthy's power in a one-hour special titled Mr. Speaker. It features photos and in-depth interviews with those who knew McCarthy during these formative years. You can watch that along with stories on McCarthy's resignation, including reaction from state and local lawmakers and more on our website, kget.com.
Now, speaking of the parade, we have everything you need to know right on our website, kget.com. You can see the route, the road closures, parking information, available food vendors, everything. It's right there. Read more and watch our streaming broadcast at kget.com/parade.
17's Robert Price took a deep dive into this case. You can watch his 30-minute special report, Muscle Car Murder, on our website, kget.com.
You can go to our website, kget.com. Scan the QR code right there that you see on your screen, and that's going to take you to our website. It's got everything that you need to know about the fair.
Yeah! It's too tall. He's doing it! It's too tall for me. No, he's doing it! Look at Robert. Robert, this is only weird if you make it weird. Okay, okay. At the Kern County Fairgrounds, Robert Price, 17 News.
Check out some of the fun we had earlier this week.
Larry! Get her done, get her done!
Instant access to what's happening in the Golden Empire. Visit kget.com. Depend on 17 News.
On December 21st, 2020, a plea that shocked the community. California City couple Trezell and Jacqueline West report 2 of their kids missing.
Where are the boys? The question at the center of the West murder trial. 17's Jason Katowski is in the courtroom with every detail from the trial. Stay with 17 as we deliver reaction from the verdict. Where are the boys? The West murder trial on 17 News.
We have new developments to report to you tonight in the murder case involving those 2 California City boys who were reported missing by their adoptive parents more than 2 years ago.
Jason Katowski is joining us in studio with more on this case. And Jason, good evening. What did the defense attorneys say they are missing as the trial approaches?
Alexia Torres Stallings, she's one of the attorneys representing Jacqueline West. She spoke at length about a number of pieces of evidence she said they requested months ago and still haven't received.
Jason, what else did the 12-year-old boy say?
He touched the body, it was cold, and his parents asked him if they should call an ambulance.
This is not a normal situation, Hansen said into his body-worn camera video that was playing in court this morning. These kids didn't just walk away, he said. Alexia Torres Stallings told jurors today, quote, "There are no confessions and there is no forensic evidence. All we have is the story of a 10-year-old boy."
Find the defendant, Trezell West, guilty of felony, to wit, murder in the second degree. Find the defendant, Jacqueline West, guilty of felony to wit, murder in the second degree.
Today, Trezell and Jacqueline West, accused of killing their adopted sons 3 years ago, were sentenced to 15 years to life in prison on convictions of second-degree murder.
It happened just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. This is the intersection of Panama Lane and Golden Gate Drive. At least 3 cars were involved in this accident. Witnesses telling 17 News they saw one of the drivers speed through a red light. It's alleged the driver was under the influence at the time of the crash, which was caught on a Ring surveillance camera. He was found a short time later and booked into the Kern County Jail on several charges, including hit and run, driving under the influence, and destroying or concealing evidence.
Honor Flight Kern County number 48 touched down in Bakersfield just a short time ago after a whirlwind trip to our nation's capital.
That we're being recognized of all tribes, you know, not just 1 or 2, all tribes.
Honor Flight 48 for our Native American veterans in the books, and they had such a great time seeing all the different memorials, the Washington Monument. Many of them said this was a trip of a lifetime.
An adult stranger grabs one of the girls by her breasts. The start of a horror story? It sure might have been. The girls ran to one of their homes in a panic, frantically trying to enter the code to unlock the door. The victim immediately called her mother at work. Then they had the girls separately make sketches of the alleged assailant. The drawings are remarkably similar. Timothy Ake Kinsabeth, age 23. Bakersfield police booked him on charges of attempted kidnapping and sexual battery.
We are following developing news of a fatal crash involving Bakersfield police officers and another vehicle.
There are a lot of unknowns in the fatal crash, but we know that the tragic accident happened overnight.
That accident left a man dead and a woman in his car severely injured.
There were 2 officers in the car, but BPD and CHP refused to say who was driving the car.
31-year-old Mario Lares was killed in the crash. His passenger seriously hurt.
Police have kept details secret about this crash, but 17 News has learned that one officer might face manslaughter charges,
alleging the officers acted negligently.
Well, today marks 8 weeks now, 12 weeks.
After more than 3 months.
Lawyers say officers Ricardo Robles and Travion Cobbins had their lights and siren off when they ran a stop sign and T-boned a vehicle, killing Mario Lares.
It has now been 26 weeks.
It has now been 47 weeks since 2 Bakersfield police officers were involved in a deadly crash.
For weeks now, the Highway Patrol has declined to answer our questions about the accident, including which officer was driving,
if the officers had their red lights on,
if the officers were wearing safety belts,
if the officers stopped at the stop sign,
if the police car's emergency lights were activated. We even asked if anyone involved in the accident was given a drug test or an alcohol test.
And that has sparked familiar concerns among their critics about a lack of transparency in policing.
CHP Public Information Officer Thomas Martinez declined to answer because he said the accident is still under investigation. We asked how an investigation might be impeding by revealing a basic fact, such as which officer was driving. He said he couldn't answer that question because it was under investigation.
We begin with breaking news as the Bakersfield police officer who was behind the wheel of a patrol car involved in a fatal high-speed crash has now been charged with manslaughter.
Prosecutors today announcing that Robles has been charged with 1 count of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence. But we begin with 17's Alex Fisher with a breakdown on what led to the crash in the night on that deserted county road last January. Alex?
In order to understand how we got to this point, it is important to see how this crash unfolded.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us at 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher on this Thursday morning. It is a big morning. We've been talking about this Powerball jackpot and how big it's growing. And what a shocker to find out that when somebody wins it, it was sold here in Kern County.
It's not us, obviously.
No,
we're still here this morning.
Wait, oh no, is Kevin not there? Was he the winner?
No, he's...
Where is he? Oh, there he
is.
Yes, I'm here.
17's Aaliyah Fitzgerald is live outside where that winning ticket was sold in Frazier Park.
I'm right outside of Midway Market and Liquor, where the ticket for $1.76 billion, that's billion with a B. Hopefully we can go ahead and talk to that store owner if they're not the ones who bought the ticket. I guess we'll have to see who comes to work today.
Our top story tonight, Bakersfield's famous Big Shoe repair shop will now need some repairs of its own after a car plowed into the building today. Bakersfield police say 2 cars collided, sending one careening through the front door of the 75-year-old landmark.
All of a sudden, I just heard like squeaking thing, a car, and boom.
So now you have a story to tell your children?
The shoe kicked me in the butt.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Investigators say Brian Castellan shot 2 men on South Union Avenue last month. Castellan allegedly ran from the scene and broke into a home a couple of blocks down the road. Video shows he severely hurt his hand when he shattered the glass of that home. Prosecutors say he tried to steal the homeowner's car at gunpoint, but he wasn't able to drive it. Court documents show Castellan is a Mexican mafia member who was released from prison 1 week before the deadly shooting.
Dramatic body camera footage yesterday from 2 officer-involved shootings. The first happened just after 9:30 on the morning of December 20th. BPD says officers got a call about a man armed with a gun in a field on Madison Street. When officers arrived, they fired at the suspect.
Drop it! Drop it! Hey, I'm taking the shot! Taking the shot!
BPD says the man, who has still not been identified, was carrying a knife and not a gun during the second shooting with officers.
And a warning, it may be sensitive to some viewers.
Walk this way! Walk beside my voice! Keep your hands up! Keep your hands up! Come on! Go, go, go! Move, move, move! 4 North 1, shots fired, shots fired. Come here, man! Come here! Come here! Come here! Come here! Come here!
Walk to the back. Walk to the back, man.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! It's okay. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. Come here.
We do want to warn you, this video may be disturbing to some.
Let me see your hands! Right now! On the ground! On the ground! 998, 998. Let me see you! Get on the ground!
This shooting happened just a couple of weeks ago on White Lane near South 8th Street. Officers say they chased 35-year-old Guillermo Huerta, though what appears to be through a parking lot, warning him about using their stun guns. Huerta was ultimately shot about half a mile into the chase. Officers say they thought he had a knife in his hand. An investigation later showed it was a screwdriver. Huerta was taken to a hospital where he later died. The officer who shot Huerta is identified as B. Mauser, a 2-year veteran of the department. He is on paid administrative leave while this investigation continues.
We move now to breaking news. Coming into our newsroom just minutes ago, the Kern County Sheriff's Office released body camera video of an officer-involved shooting from last month.
Sheriff's Office! Let me see your head! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Investigators say a semi-automatic handgun was recovered at the scene.
Welcome everybody to 17 Scoreboard, your one-stop shop for high school highlights. Tonight, playoffs. 16 of our local teams took part in postseason action throughout Central California, and we're going to get you caught up with all of them tonight. First up was our only game between 2 teams in the area, and that takes the cake as our game of the week. 185 college basketball games, and we have one of them locally. CSUB men's squad, the Roadrunners, taking on Southern Utah in the inaugural game of the 2023 season. Coach Rod Barnes back for his 13th year at the helm of the Roadrunners, and this is going to be a new look. Second down and 10, screen pass right into your living room.
All right, well, wrapping up 17 News at noon, outside in the sunshine, we have the STEAM team with Kern County Superintendent of Schools. Hi, boys. We now have some, are these bottle rockets, Justin?
These are air-powered water rockets. So we're going to pump these up to about 40 PSI.
Almost there. So as we're pumping up each one, the boys have a string leading at a safe distance.
3, 2, 1. And you can see all of that built-up pressure and energy is released, and we have liftoff.
Oh, hello there.
You caught us
decorating our Christmas in July tree.
And on Tuesday morning on 17 News at Sunrise, we've got something special to deliver.
5 months early.
We're planning a holiday season in the Golden Empire unlike any other.
Tuesday on Sunrise. 3, 2, 1.
Is that what I said?
No.
I've never been so excited for a promo.
Ho ho, hometown fun.
Santa
baby. This is so good.
Are you okay with that? So join us Tuesday
on 17 News at Sunrise.
That's a good promo in itself. They look forward to this moment every year.
Because we lost it for 10 years.
Right.
In the 70s, early 80s, brought it back with the interests of the community.
We do have breaking news for you in the worst possible kind for this evening. A motorist just moments ago reportedly ran through a parade barrier and hit several people in the street.
Bakersfield Police Chief Greg Terry is joining us right now with the latest on what we know. Chief Terry, what happened over there this evening?
Well, we had some sort of a vehicle accident or an incident involving a vehicle and some pedestrians.
This is what the scene looks like right now. You just heard Bakersfield Police Chief Greg Terry explain this, at this point, is being investigated as a traffic crash. We know that there were a few people, 3 people that were taken to the hospital. They were critically injured.
And so we must help time, and we must realize that the time is always right to do right.
That is what many believe is being weighed by California's first in the nation reparations task force.
Act as if it's impossible to fail. We have to believe that we can make this change happen.
The group is examining counties like Kern, which has a history of being discriminatory towards African Americans even today. I'm Michaela Armstrong, and this is a special report for 17 News. The task force is studying how the state might calculate financial compensation for reparations to California descendants of enslaved African Americans. And I spoke to Kern County residents about the importance of this legislation.
A little Las Vegas that greeted motorists with an unmistakable salutation in vivid blue letters. But today, Union Avenue, a half-mile stretch of it anyway, is the gritty, dismal domain of Bakersfield's sex trade. Drivers who use the route, still a major north-south arterial, may have become desensitized to the sight of provocatively dressed women loitering on the sidewalk outside peeling paint motels. But how would those drivers feel if they knew some of those figures in the shadows were mere girls, children as young as 14, 13, 10 years old? Sandra died 3 days later.
It's challenging. We can only do so much.
Jensen wishes society would pay more attention to the factors that make girls vulnerable to sex trafficking. She advocates an approach that gives families and their communities the tools to recognize and address risky behavior before it descends into exploitation.
No child deserves to have those kinds of atrocities in their life, in their young life.
First, fast, your local forecast, delivered by your 17 weather team, only on 17 News.
Turning now to your 17 Storm Watch, a powerful winter storm has made landfall in Northern California this hour, unleashing heavy rain and strong winds, triggering evacuations and power outages and heightening fears of widespread flooding. The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for the Central Valley through Friday morning, and there is a high wind warning in effect for our southern mountains through tomorrow morning.
The storm isn't just bringing rain and wind. With it comes a warning. Stay home unless you absolutely have to go outside. This storm is going to be a bad one, and Governor Gavin Newsom has already taken action.
The storm is really going to make an impact to the north. It's also going to make an impact here into Kern County. The other component of this, we've had so much rain that if we see any type of wind event here, it is the possibility of trees coming down is a good possibility because of the saturation in our soil. I want to show you what our sea surface map looks like, and this is the area of low pressure that we're talking about.
It is definitely a cool day out here in Frazier Park. However, believe it or not, these conditions do not compare to what we received yesterday, which is over 90-mile-per-hour winds at the Grapevine. Now, I actually had to drive fast to get to my house yesterday, and let me tell you, there was lots of fog, lots of wind, and definitely lots of rain.
It's a rainy day out there, so let's take a look at the radar right now. Now that the winds have subsided, we are beginning to see the true colors of the storm.
So tomorrow night while you're sleeping, that's when most of that rain is turning to snow for our highest elevations into Sunday morning. The worst of it for Kern County specifically, 4 p.m. Saturday to 9 a.m. Sunday. Try and avoid travel through the passes at that time if you can. The snow level starts at 4,000 feet Saturday, falls to 2,500 feet by Sunday. So that means all of Kern County's mountain locations, even Isabella, trying to pick up at least a dusting to an inch or two. The higher you go, obviously, the more you get.
Rain is still out there. We've had still numerous showers, but the good thing are the winds that we were seeing last night, where we had a wind gust at the peak of the Grapevine at 106 miles per hour. That's Category 2 strength when we talk about even hurricane strength winds.
We have breaking news. Poso Creek is overflowing. This is located at Famoso Road between Driver Road and Highway 99. This raises concerns for the people of McFarland. If you live or work in the area of McFarland, this information is for you. Over the last day, the surging flood water appears to be receding. You can see by our video on your screen now, the water yesterday was up to the middle of this building, where today that building is now out of the clear.
Online child predators communicating with kids on social media. How it can be stopped. 17's Aaliyah Fitzgerald examines child predators. A special report every parent needs to hear. Predators targeting Kern's children. Wednesday morning on 17 News at Sunrise.
Predators can look like anyone.
Find the defendant, Brian Pardue, guilty of felony to wit, contacting or attempting to contact a minor.
This is an ex-CHP officer being sentenced in an online child sex sting. Brian Pardue was arrested 3 years ago after exchanging sexually graphic messages on a dating app with a person who said that they were 16. The other person was actually a sheriff's investigator. Predators will go to great lengths to meet with their prey.
A well-known advocate for pedophilia.
Take Nathan Larson, an ex-politician who tried running for office several times with no success, who described himself publicly as a pedophile. Quick-acting investigators cracked into the girl's social media and figured out Larson's plan. He was stopped and arrested at a layover in Denver. The girl was rescued.
From the streets of Bakersfield throughout the surrounding valley, the Golden Empire offers some incredible stories, rich with history, troubled in controversy, brimming with compassion. I'm Robert Price, and this is Where We Live. Today marks the 160th anniversary of a tragic and brutal scar on Kern County history. In the midst of the bloody American Civil War, a continent away, an atrocity of stunning cruelty right here in the mountains east of what one day would become Bakersfield. It was just before dawn that the Union cavalry came around that point on what was then the North Fork of the Kern River and came down to the place where Tilly Creek met the North Fork. That's where the village was. That's where the massacre took place.
That was called Yahapan, which is place of where the rivers meet.
Hi, Maddie. Good morning. Well, we hear about these mass shootings across the country all of the time, and they're becoming more frequent, of course, as we've reported. But this morning, we are waking up to one in our own backyard. Our attention is on the small community of Mojave, specifically this very small neighborhood here on 8th Street. As a matter of fact, just behind me, there's only about a dozen homes. Again, this morning, we are waking up to 4 people shot and killed. 3 were found dead inside the home. Another was transported to a hospital nearby. They later died. So a lot of questions still this morning. We are trying to figure out those answers as investigators still try to put the puzzle pieces together.
But then Vicki Hampton was not intimidated by guns. Quite the opposite. She loved guns, and she owned enough of them to supply a small army. She once showed her friend Jazz McKay her multiple gun safes, each one packed with firearms of all description.
I said to her, how many guns do you own? She says, I've never really counted. And I said, you have got to have as many guns as Ted Nugent.
Our Vice President Hillary Clinton, they're criminals.
But that didn't prevent her from packing when she confronted the alleged car thieves. Hampton was estranged from her parents, according to Klein. The reason, Klein told police, a sex change operation in Denmark 35 years ago that turned Jeffrey Scott Escudero into Victoria Ann Marie Hampton. Her parents disowned her, Klein told police. She loved her friends, she loved her guns, and she loved her Dodge Hellcats. Did those last two obsessions contribute to Vicki Hampton's murder? One could see it that way.
This is 17 News.